What exactly is happening here?
This is a laundry manufacturing unit based in Noida, where more than 3,000 designs are manufactured every day.
And for every design, there's more than 50 sizes.
But wait, why do we need so many designs and sizes?
If I'm a big girl, I'm not able to find my bra, which probably gives me very light pad. I still want the round, but I don't want the bulk.
Think about it. What works for a body type like this won't work for a body type like this. And with demand going up every day, factories like these produce 40,000 pieces a day.
We want to create 500, 250 pieces of a product. How do we break that cycle, right? It took us almost a year to solve it.
It's the first thing that you put on and the last thing that you put off.
In this video, we're going behind the scene to understand everything that goes on in a lingerie factory.
The modern concept of bra is not that old. This is Mary Jacob Phelps, the creator of the first ever modern bra. She called her domestic help and asked for 2 handkerchiefs, some cord and pink ribbon. By stringing them all together, she created the first ever modern bra. This was nothing short of revolutionary. And on November 3rd, 1914, she patented the first bra. But Mary did not hold on to her creations patent for long. The Warner Bros. Corset Company bought the patent from her at the modern equivalent of $21,000 in 1915. Now, while bras began to become popular, they weren't accessible. They were still very expensive and uncomfortable. This is where companies like Clovia play a very important role in making lingerie accessible and cheaper. And when we spoke to Pankaj Varmani about why did they start a lingerie brand, he said the exact same thing: to make comfortable lingerie cheaper and accessible.
Tier 1 folks always had a lot of product, but Tier 2, Tier 3 did not have the right product. Even if they had a certain set of product, they were expensive.
India's a very price-sensitive market, right? So how did you figure out what your average order value should be to crack?
So our math was very, very clear. We said, let's work backwards. What is it that the customer will be ready to pay? If she's paying 1,000, 1,200 rupees for a kurti, she will not pay more than 400 for a bra. Now let's work backwards and see how can we give that product, which is like really high-end, really good experience, right? Now, if I wanted to cater to all this complexity I was talking about, it's a long answer, but the problem is also very long from a supply chain perspective, I think. So one is, how do you break the production cycle into creating smaller batches so that you can identify what works well? And once you've identified what works well, then how can you scale it fast? So basically experiment and scale, right? So it's a fail fast model, right?
At the core of the supply chain problem was the amount of body types that they wanted to cater to. Apart from this, to stay relevant, they had to build a lasting relationship with the end customer.
What we did was, we built an engine which is called the Monk. It sees the speed of sale of product. Then it will also see the feedback score of the product, right? So we'll keep getting feedback. This is all online feedbacks, offline feedbacks from product. And then there is RTO, RVP, all sorts of data are pulled in, right? And that brings out something which is called the replenishment score. And replenishment score decides your fate.
The score essentially tells them whether to replenish a product in the store or not. This would also tell them the demand of the product. All this would have zero human intervention. Apart from telling Clovia about the demand and the need for replenishment, it would also give them feedback on the design. But how does designing actually take place? To understand this, we sat down with Clovia's designer and went through the entire process of designing.
What's the first 3 steps that you do when ideating a new product?
Fashion and this garment works slightly differently. It's a garment which is solution based. So when we start designing anything, I'm going to be thinking, okay, what is a problem that my consumer is facing? So of course you have to talk to people, go in the market, and you find pain points.
And this is where the data that Pankaj was talking about comes into use. With this data, designers would be able to make a product for everybody in the market.
Then the second thing you do is, okay, what are the solutions that are already there in the market? So you go for the market survey.
But once the market insight and solution is found, how does a designer execute their design?
This entire huge setup of manufacturers that we are linked with, we team up with them, we tell them, okay, you know what, this is how I want a cup to be engineered. The development process starts. So that is your trims. Now I want to see what colors I want to work with. For colors, then you have to see what is in the market right now.
But apart from this, she also says that as designers, they are also very conscious of the choice of colors according to season.
I cannot put the darkest shades in summer season because the functionality is not there. Your color palette during the summer changes. Same way, my color palette changes according to that. There are a lot of factors that come into play on different stages of it.
Once the complete design is done, the designers create a product bible. This would be a reference when the manufacturing begins. Clovia have their factories scattered all over India, and we got to take a look at what happens in one of their manufacturing units. So it all starts with a raw cloth coming into the factory, where it is cut into smaller pieces by a band knife.
So you can cut your small panel, and also after molding, you can cut the molding part area.
Once that is done, the trimmed cloth pieces go through a molding process. This happens through a special machine that makes molds with different die sizes, and it's able to do this extremely accurately.
So ये जो process है 20 सेकंड लेते हो, depend करता है fabric के ऊपर, और temperature भी I think 200 डिग्री है.
After the mold has been made and the cloth pieces are finally ready to be stitched together, these pieces go through the entire stitching floor, where materials are sewn together by the workers there.
So अभी आप देख रहे होंगे ये raw है, इसमें कोई मगज़ी नहीं लगा हुआ. आप इस पीस को देखो,
इसमें ये लग चुका है.
ये लग गया. So here they attach the elastic. This is called neck elastic. All final work here. After this attaching, that all ladies will cut that extra margin.
So there's a quality control team in each floor.
Each floor. So वो सारे every level, every step पे QCs हैं.
And because a single piece of lingerie has so many elements attached to it, it goes through several rounds of quality checks to make sure that every single piece is where it is supposed to be. To check if the product is being manufactured according to the design, there is the QC team.
So after इस सब checking के बाद फिर ये हमारे QC को offer करते हैं. So he is our QA from Clovia team. Say they do again quality check here. If it is passed from here, then it move for packing.
Lingerie brands like Clovia make sure that high-quality products come out by perfecting what works and focusing on the problem at hand.
So one thing was, we always said we were going to be solution focused, right? First question we keep asking is, what is this solving? And the thought was very, very simple always for us, that how do you make the life of the customer better? She trying your bra for the first time is like going on the first date, you know. If it doesn't go well, she's never going to talk to you again. So you have to be so careful with everything. I've seen a lot of founders getting degraded in this, you know, in the garb of newer opportunities. You actually end up neglecting what is right in front of your eyes, what is actually making you the moolah.
By optimizing their supply chain to turn it into something more manageable and simple, brands like Clovia have made lingerie so much more comfortable and accessible to women all around the world.
So we have taken some beauty of the design experience, the art, but we've also applied the science on top of it so that, you know, the art doesn't go crazy.
I told you, it's the first thing that you put on and the last thing that you put off. And if you're not comfortable in that, it's your second skin.